Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first matchup of today. We are extremely sorry about the technical issues that we have been running into. Unfortunately, it seems to be just one of those days where everything that has an internet connection is running into some hiccups. But what we've been running into is repeated crashes of the service as soon as we start catching up with a delay, which is extremely unfortunate. So, making it extra difficult is the fact that we do have a 15-minute delay, so every time we have to reset, we are pushed back by another 15 minutes, but we are crossing fingers and toes that everything has been sorted out at this point in time. So it is time to get on into the first matchup of today. Spoos, the third time's the charm, so let's run through this here. We are going to be watching Bamboo versus Head here. The loser of this one will go down into the lower bracket facing Kolbosnik. The winner will secure himself $1,000 and a place in that top 4 grand final spot for the KARDS 2022 World Championship. But Spoos, talk us a little bit through the decks here for Bamboo. Some interesting things being brought here to the table.
Yeah, and it's, as you mentioned, it's not the first time I'm seeing these decks here today. It feels a little bit like Groundhog Day, but I try my best to just do it a third time here. Bamboo bringing mostly well-known decks to the table here, like the US-Germany frontline deck. A deck that was very popular back in the days, then somehow disappeared. Now it's back on the table here, and I found it very successfully in the last days. On the last weeks where I played it, also was very successful in the group stage with this deck. A really well-rounded deck, very beginner and free-to-play friendly, because it's not having too many elites and a lot of standard cards. Overall, a pretty strong deck. Then we have the very, very well-known Japan-German Feint Retreat aggro deck. Nothing special that is Bamboo bringing to the table here. We might see later from other players that they are bringing some cool new stuff, but Bamboo just bringing a very standard variant of Jaggro deck here. Then we have Soviet Japan self-damage. Ollie, you already mentioned it, nobody thought that there are 2 copies of Ura and also counter-offensive in it, so more like especially heavy damage output variant of Soviet self-damage. Very interesting. It can be very good in mirror matchup, for example, with the Ura and both players having all these guys on the board, and you do Winter Warfare and just buff one big unit and just kill your opponent without even touching the HQ. And the Force deck, I love to see that one. It is Brit, France, Mobilize. Last year to the World Championship top 4, Bison brought a Mobilize deck, and for this year, Bamboo might take this role as the Mobilize player here in the top 6. A deck I really love. It can be played in so many ways. Like you can, with the 5th Parachute, you can apply early pressure, but you can also hold them back to use them on the protest later on turn 4 to get the healing off and then overwhelm your opponent with the Commonwealth. Has a lot of control tools, the commandos in it, the Spitfire in it to just get all these commando play styles out. Yeah, I really like this deck, and I think with the commandos in it, you're also not too much unliking it, right?
No, I love it, and I think this is one that I really want to try out. Actually, I mean, I had a lot of fun with the Mobilized deck back when the Commandos Kefers came out as well. So, I think this one is an interesting one, and I do hope that we get to see this one today. Now, let's jump on over to Head, and this is the first time that we cover this because we've never gotten this far, Spoos. So let's hope this one sticks. Talk us through what Head is bringing to the table here.
So first deck is also Japan-German Feint Retreat, but I already mentioned it when looking at Bamboo's deck list. Head is bringing the new card Audacity in his deck, a card that gives you an IG and then deals damage equal to the IG's attack. So if you have several on these in your support line, it's 3, 5, 7 attack, but only with this card, so it's just randomly dealing 3 damage to an enemy unit. And yeah, I'm not really sure why this is in it, because it's not dealing additional face damage. That would be pretty good with Jaggro. I think it's just, yeah, for that 3 damage to damage a guard maybe, or get rid of an opponent's Sendai regiment and just get your unit back. An interesting tech, and I'm interested to see how it works out here for her today. Then he's also attacking the Martyr just for the additional draw instead of Enigma for Germany. Yeah, interesting tech. And second tech, Soviet, Japan self-damage. Het is playing with two-player Diakov. The bomber that is denying deployment effects can be pretty good against stuff like the frontline deck, for example. They play half tracks, or the Rough Lightning for Britain. So the biggest problem, or one of the big problems with self-damage, once you deploy these big infantry units for 2 or 0 credits, your opponent can just bounce it and it just costs 6 credits again. And with this bomber on board, all these shenanigans are just denied, and it's more likely that this big boy stays on the board.
Yeah, I mean, he's also bringing Road to Berlin and no Euros. So, I mean, I think that's going to be a pretty cool mirror matchup, seeing as though we've seen like significant tweaks made to each one of these decks.
Yeah, it will be cool to see which one is superior to the other one. Then the third deck, German Elite Control. Oh no, wait. No, this is the fourth deck. The third one is, yeah, the third one is a really interesting deck. When I first looked at it, it looked like Britain-Japan pin deck, but not too much synergy with pin. Like there's no type 94 in the deck that can get rid of where you get the surprise attack that can help you to get. Wait.
There's 3 of them.
Wait. Did I not? Oh, wait.
Number 4 in the row there.
Yeah. Okay. Then I was just wondering. Okay, that makes absolutely sense that this is in it. Yeah, a really cool, interesting control deck with Japan as ally. Like naval operation helps you to pin ground units, and then with surprise attack you can just kill these units. I'm not sure how good it is in general, but with Brit Air being nerfed recently, it might get some good value out of naval operations. Like Brit Air usually was the hard counter to any naval operation pin deck, because yeah, you just cannot pin this with a naval operation, and yeah, might have a good pick here in the current tournament meta. Like we saw in Bamboo's decks, a lot of ground units, a lot of swarm decks like the frontline deck and the Jaguar deck, and also the mobilized deck.
Yeah.
So it can be a pretty good pick here, honestly. And then the fourth deck is German Elite Control. Yeah, we saw it several times in OCC. A deck that is pretty good against any kind of aggressive decks, was very good against Brit Air. So we might find other spots. I think it's weak against frontline, or not that great, because they can just go so wide and overwhelm this. So yeah. That's
I think it's going to be interesting, because I think almost guaranteed Bamboo's going to ban Head's Brit deck, because I mean that pin is the most threatening thing to what he's bringing to the table. That would be my prediction, at least. So I believe that we are in a position to now look at the bans. There we go. Bamboo getting his Brit deck banned, so no mobilize.
No.
I'm so sad, but he's banning Head's Soviet deck, so doesn't want to go into the mirror matchup. So I was completely wrong, as per usual. We're not going to get the exciting Soviet versus Soviet mirror matchup on the 2 kind of unique versions of the self-damage decks. And the Brit pin deck is going to be in full fun there. I have a hard time seeing how Bamboo is going to beat that Brit pin deck with anything other than his Jaguar deck, and that's by getting a. Well, I mean, I guess he could do it with the US deck. I think the US deck and the Jaguar deck with a good draw are his options to win that one, but I think that Soviet deck is going to get absolutely bamboozled and crushed by Head's pin deck.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised to see that the mobilized deck just got banned, although Head has, I think, decent options to deal with that. Like, I think the German deck is not too bad against it. The pin deck, as you mentioned, could be good, but I'm pretty sure there's an idea of Head just banning that one.
You know what?
And
I think the mobilized deck is, I think the mobilized deck is just the one that we have to. I think we have to update the source there on the second hand. But apart from that, I think the mobilized deck is actually just extremely strong, and I'm pretty excited to see that one progress further into the future. But we are underway here. Bamboo versus Head. The game has started, and it's going to be Jagro taking on the Soviet self-damage deck there. Bamboo starting off with a 33rd. No, it's not Jagro. Oh, I was looking at it wrong. It's going to be Germany, Italy Control taking on the Soviet self-damage deck.
So how's the matchup here? German Head with German Italy Control versus Bamboo's self-damage. I think Head has some good answers in the deck, like the Lion for a Day for all these 6/6 guys. The Ladeshima could be pretty good. And I think he's also packing Sudden Strike. Yeah, so he has all the answers in the world against everything from Bamboo. Like against the 456, that 2 credit unit, whenever you receive damage, it gains +1/+1 plus guard. He has the Sudden Strikes for that. And yeah, he has Lion for a Day and Ladeshima for everything else. But this early in the game, 2 6/6s is also not too easy to deal with. He has 1 Lion for a Day. Definitely needs to find a second one.
Yeah, he needs to find the second one. I mean, I guess he can also slightly reduce the impact of those 6/6s with the root out if he so chooses. He also has that FW 150 Jag Bomber waiting in hand next turn, and a Hipper that's going to be able to slow down the advance of those 34th guards considerably. So not a huge amount of threat on the board so far, but there is that Yak 7 who that is taking 2 damage away onto the HQ every now and then. And let's remember, Bamboo is bringing 2 counteroffensive, and he's bringing a Yura, and he's got both of them in hand right now. So a Yura plus a counteroffensive could potentially just blast out the 16 damage that is needed. And in his back pocket, he has a KV1, which can come out to potentially close out the game. So I feel like Bamboo in an all right spot right now, and I don't think he would hate either to get something like a Hipper out against him right now. That takes up Head's entire turn. That would allow Bamboo to, for instance, going for the root out. Yeah, I think that's smart.
Yeah, if he just played the FW or the Hipper, he would still receive 5 damage.
Yeah.
And he still needs to get rid of these units anyways. And this denies 1 draw for Bamboo and 1 self-damage. And he still gets 5, but...
Counteroffensive. No, he gets more than 5. He gets 9.
Now it's 9.
And I mean, now it's just 3 draws with a KV on the field. And there's an Yura as well. And he needs to push that Hipper back right now. He needs to use the Hipper to push that 34th guards back right now.
I'm not sure why he's using the Hipper here. Because with the FW and Mar Nostrum in hand, he could get some healing next turn.
I think he wants to deny the draw. I think that's the thought there.
Yeah, but Bamboo is having 7 cards already in hand. 1 more or less should not make the difference there. I think I would have preferred to have something on board there. But... also, I'm not in the top 6 of World Championship. Annihilation not doing anything against those 34s, because the standard cost of this card is 6, and even if they get deployed for less than 6, it will still remain 6 internally, so Annihilation only targetable for units that cost 5 or less.
I think I'm taking the Panther G here because he has the Marinostrum in hand. Yeah. And being able to just drop the Panther G and putting a Marinostrum is going to guarantee him a significant amount of healing. But that Sendai lurking in Bamboo's hand could come in clutch here. He needs to find some tank platforms, though, to be able to deliver the damage across the field. Because of the answers that Head has in hand right now, they're able to deal with the advancing infantry fairly easily.
Honestly, I think Bamboo's not in the best spot here. The T80 is a tank that needs to be, especially with counter-offensive in the deck, needs to be taken care of, but Head can just play the FW next turn on the 6/6, and then he can probably just annihilate that Sendai. So many options here. Even that one is a good one. He can get rid of it and heal himself for 6.
Yeah, opts to develop the board, and I think this is an issue. That the issue there for Bamboo is that he was 1 credit short to put one more platform on the table. He couldn't put the T80 on the board, because if he had the T80 on the board,
he's also having Katyusha. Holy, I did not know that.
wait, and
That's
Yura.
a good tag with the Ura. Yeah, that's 550. Wait, that's 5. And with Winter Warfare, he's having lethal. No, it's 4. It's 4. It's 4 and 50% to hit 5.
Yeah, but that's
only
50% to win the game.
Take it.
Oh my god, I totally spaced on the Katyusha. That could be enough. Does he get the roll? No, he does not.
No, he did not.
He does not.
Oh, and now he's in trouble here, I guess.
No, he just lost the game because the Mare Nostrum, it's gonna heal for 6, and he's not gonna get another chance of that.
Oh, even double annihilation.
Unless Head gets baited into using the annihilation, but I don't think we would see a player make such a mistake at this point in the World Championship. So that's gonna be 6 HP removed off the headquarters for Bamboo, transferred over to El Alamein on the other side for Head. And now this game is looking securely out of reach there for Bamboo. He does, however, have the Great Patriotic War, so potentially there is a way for him to maybe stall out the game a little bit longer. But to what end? What is he going to be able to accomplish? I mean, I guess he can Great Patriotic War and double Red Dawn. Like that is possible. He can double Red Dawn to take out that Mare Nostrum Jack Bomber. But this is starting to look very, very grim.
Good options here. I mean, not the best. Nothing to close out the game. But yeah, Bamboo has to play the Great Periodic. Otherwise, he's dead. But then he can just drop a T80 here or 456. Not looking great.
I mean, it costs too much for him to take from the people.
Oh, he's doing a double guard line here. I mean, yeah, probably the better line, because with the Great Periodic, he's just dying anyways. Like, he cannot put anything additionally on board that stops the aggression here from Head.
Yeah, but I feel like, doesn't he need to deal with that Mare Nostrum Jack Bomber? Is he ever going to both survive long enough and find the damage to deal with 13 additional damage at the moment? Especially if, like, just a Leopold comes out right now?
Oh.
All his hard work. I mean, I guess the good news here is that pushed that Panther G off the playing field because there was no spot in the support line for it to respawn into. And now there is a Sendai, and I mean, Sendai can take out the Leopold, but there's no way for him to deal damage to his HQ that doesn't kill him at this point. He doesn't have credits to do everything within the turn. He has to pick and choose at this point.
I think that's it. 1000%. I think there's no line. No line that stops him from dying here. Great Periodic can bring him to 12, but then there's the FW plus Leopold. Huh.
He doesn't have enough credits to Great Patriotic War, and Sendai, it's just, that's going to be game over. That's going to be game 1 going to Head. But also, I mean, this shows you how much, can say, thought and care goes into play at this stage of the World Championship, is that Bamboo is not giving up without first going through every single possible out. You know, does he have any chance? And at the end, he decides that he does not, and the surrender comes in. Head takes a 1-0 lead against Bamboo here in the upper bracket finals for qualification into the grand finals of the KARDS 2022 World Championship. One could say that he is now ahead in the series.
Yeah, there. I just want to mention there are so many heads in this matchup here. Like also the headquarter, right?
Yes.
Headquarter,
Headquarters, he's
head
going
to
head to
head.
head with Bamboos. He's ahead, and the head.
Oh man. Yeah, let's see what Bamboo is bringing next. If he sticks with the Soviet self-damage.
You know what, Spoos?
No.
I even Googled pictures of the members of the Talking Heads because I was thinking because he's singing in a microphone and I was like, can I make a joke that he looks like a member of the Talking Heads? But none of them were blessed with that great of hair, right? So unfortunately, that I couldn't make that one. But now we see the U.S. deck here against the British pin deck, and a lot of card draw there early on for head.
Yeah. The Pioneer's helping a lot here to make his cards playable. Like the Convoy now.
And
Found
finding
the
a 3-drop.
Sule. But also Bamboo with a pretty good starting hand here. He found the 32nd into 35T. Not really a Sherman in hand, but with that hand size at the moment, not really a problem. And there's the first naval operation for head here.
Yeah, I mean, already look at the control in the hand there for head. You know, he's got naval operation that he can pop whenever he wants. He's got a Monty that he can pop whenever he wants. He's got a fortification. It's going to heal him up, up to 25 if he doesn't take more damage. He's got a Sexton to drop on turn 5. He's got a Lend-Lease to refill his hand on turn 6. And this is why I felt like Bamboo needed to ban this deck, because everything that relies on ground assault either needs to have like tremendous staying power so that, you know, all these small amounts of damage are not going to be significantly damaging your ability to continue to advance, or he needs to have constant tempo. And I'm a little bit of afraid that Bamboo will run out of steam against this deck from head.
Yeah, especially because Bamboo is not playing. Oh, he's playing 2 Blitzkrieg, so that could be the most important card here in this matchup. Like, if he can develop a backline with a few tanks and then blitz out some other tanks, there's a lot of potential damage output later in the game. So whenever head feels too comfortable here, there is a chance that Bamboo can just overwhelm him with maybe even double Blitzkrieg. But I think that's the only chance. As you mentioned, look at the amount of pin, and this bomber just starts chipping away all these small units with low amount of.
Horrible Wind, that's a great top deck for Bamboo, allows him to deal with that bomber.
Also interesting that Head decided to kill the 1 HP unit there, just because it was a US unit, to not give Bamboo the German opportunity here. Although the 1-drop would die from the naval operation.
Yeah, I think that's like, it's a smart play if Bamboo has Sherman, because I think he understands that he needs to shut down the draw, because that's the Sherman draws are the only way that Bamboo is able to sustain the tempo in the card draw to keep control of this game. So I think that was a really heads up play by Head, but at the same time, that might have been a play that actually comes back to bite him in the ass, because it allows a more efficient use of the units on board for Bamboo.
Oh, but that time the Type 94 was arriving just in time here, because there's a 5th Ranger in the front line now. And with 4 health, it's out of range of carpet bombing, for example, and can just survive a lot of these AoEs here. But Naval just coming out, Type 94, getting the surprise attack.
There's no carpet bombing in the deck.
Okay. Never mind.
As soon as you said that, I was like, wait, is there a carpet bombing in this tournament? Because we haven't seen one in like a year. But no, there's no carpet bombing. But I mean, I think like, I honestly think I mean, it's good the fact I think that decision has been nullified by Head, going for the one drop unit at this point because he's played the two naval operations. He didn't have to spend any additional specific resources to deal with that 35T. So I think we're good on that decision now. It's not going to have a ripple effect down the line where he had to, attack with a unit into it that could have been used to trade into another unit or anything like that. So I think we're good on that decision for now. It evened out appropriately, but now what will Bamboo do? Deciding to go for the Hellcat and just hitting face. Interesting tactic there, keeping the Red Devils in the support line. Red Devils getting buffed though. Could be important.
Here are not being selfish this time. I mean, it's already at 8 attack and sitting there and just doing its thing. But yeah, this is kind of a situation now where Head needs to be very, very careful what he's doing. Like if Mboo's having another 35T in the Blitzkrieg, that's so much damage. So he's at constant risk here of receiving a lot of damage and not being able to pull off the Commonwealth later on. So he needs to get rid of as many units as possible every time when he's having his turn here. And shots are not too great here, but
is this just a Sexton? Is this just Sexton drop? And drawing first. That makes sense.
There's the Commonwealth. Saxon pretty good here.
Oh, what a top deck for Bamboo there. Finding the Sexton answer, another Hellcat. Could have been in a little bit of trouble there if he did not find that one. And now that PIR needs to be dealt with immediately.
At least there's the possibility to pin it for one turn. But after that, maybe it's pin and drop the honey. But usually I think you want to have the honey combined with the land lease. But yeah, you cannot leave these units uncontested here. I think you really need to drop the Suze. But what else? You have 5 credits left. Pretty awkward spot. You cannot really do the land lease.
I mean, it almost feels like you just have to drop the Churchill here. That'll at least push it out of range. The bad thing is the fact that the Hellcat does double damage against tanks, so that is a free trade for the Hellcat into the Churchill, losing a big unit there for Head.
And Bamboo found the Sherman now. But definitely getting rid of the Churchill with the Hellcat, I expect. Oh, he's just going face. Wow, the big balls move. Yeah, but he's just spamming the front line there and setting Head under immediate pressure here.
Yeah, now you have to choose. Do I use the Churchill to kill a 5/5 and pay 3 credits for it? No, I can't really do that because then I'm not really going to have the credits I need for the rest of the round. There's a 12-1 PIR that is quickly becoming a massive thorn in the side of Head there.
In for the win. Good setup here. So Bamboo, is he playing Stars and Stripes? Is he playing strat bombing? I expect at least strat bombing. Let me check.
Yeah, playing strat bombing and Stars and Stripes.
That's what he really needs right now. And there's the Blitzkrieg.
Doesn't help him when everything in the front line is pinned, though.
Yeah, and there's a shelling waiting. I did not even see that one.
But getting out a lot of draws allows him to refill his hand, getting a lot of units. So even through something like the shelling and more pin, he's able to sustain the pressure. A lot of health on these units on board as well. 5/5 Red Devils, those 2 Shermans are 4/4s, and that's looking like a dangerous Red Devils.
Selling. And I expect some land lease now, just to get the healing in. Or is he trading the units away? No. More pin. Naval power for the additional healing. Oh.
I mean, Head's
One
getting
naval
really
operation and it
close.
could be game already. Like if
We
he's
can
able
do
to
it.
pin more of them.
We can do it. Could
Oh yeah. Could
save
also
bamboo there.
yeah. Definitely expecting that one to come out. Just thinking what more units is he playing into it?
He's gonna hit base here with the Panzer 35T, right? No, he's
Also
gonna
get rid
take
of
out the
this
bomber.
suicide. It's a tough one. He knows that Head has so many options to go above 30 anyway, so I think the 2 more damage on the HQ is not making a big difference here. So he's just getting rid of the annoying bomber.
Yeah. Could make the difference though. Could make the difference. I mean, we are really close.
Yeah, it's a pretty scary board here that Head is facing. Knowing that your opponent has Blitzkrieg, this is not really what you want to see, especially because one of those 2 backline Shermans can also just go to the front line and benefit from the Blitzkrieg there. Ooh. And the problem with this US deck is that you don't have too many ways to play around countermeasures like Ultra. Like you see Bamboo's only having the Stars and Stripes and the Blitzkrieg in hand. So to activate the Blitzkrieg, he needs to play Stars and Stripes first.
I mean, now, if he would have done 2 damage to the HQ last turn, he would have been able to keep him under 30, right? No.
He's still able to. That one Sherman can go to the front line.
Yeah. Ooh, that's actually interesting.
Goes to 29.
Did Head kill a pinned unit? He killed the
No, he
pinned
attacked
unit.
into the Hellcat.
Hellcat, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But that doesn't take him.
Hell, what did this Suze die from?
The Red
From
Devils.
the Red Devils. I
Yeah.
did not see that attack.
And taking out the honey means that Head is not going to gain. It's not going to gain the HP there.
Double
So
Black
29.
Watch. That means +4 to all the orders in Bamboo's hand.
Luckily, only 2 orders there. So
what can he do here? Commonwealth, just 1 damage off. On the other hand, I think you don't want to do it here because you're just overdrawing a little too much. I mean, if you would be at 30, yeah, but you still need to deal that 3 missing damage there. I mean, there's a Lancaster, right? If I see correctly, that deals 5. Yeah, I think no other option than do the double guard line here and trade 1 unit with the Churchill away. Oh, if he's doing that, he cannot do the double guard line. Going Wellington. And he can also attack with the Churchill here. Nah, this is really awkward. He cannot activate the Ultra now.
why would he not attack with the Churchill? Because he doesn't want to give up a free spot in the front line.
Yeah, probably. Like, this is saving him some damage now, but I'm definitely expecting a Blitzkrieg here. How much damage is this even? Is there any 3 attack unit? Unfortunately not. 4, 11,
7,
13,
14,
14.
19, 22 damage in front line.
But then he's still
22
able to attack
damage.
with the Sherman there. Even more, it's close to lethal here.
Looks like he's going for the Stars and Stripes instead. Can't do both here.
Yeah, also not too bad, but now he's risking that. I mean, he's having the dive bombing. That probably makes him think that he can just play around Ultra on next turn in case Head is activating it. But that's a really scary front line here to face. And not really any options. No draw left. That Crusader cannot be activated from anything other than the Commonwealth, but not possible. I think this is Bamboo's game, honestly. Can drop Blackwatch, activate Ultra, but even then, yeah, he just realized and equal score now, 1-1. Nice.
1-1 after 2 matches here. Bamboo versus Head. And that means that Bamboo has his Soviet self-damage deck there, and Jagro against Head's Pin deck and Jagro decks.
Maybe I think Head will stick with the deck. Like it could be good against Jagro and could also be good against self-damage. I'm not sure what Bamboo is going with here. Probably just Soviet self-damage, I guess. Let's see. It is one of the players bringing Japan. Bamboo's bringing Japan. Bo's bringing Japan.
Oh, we're in for a slugfest.
Ooh.
Both players want to bring the heat in this one, and that's a very, very interesting matchup, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it depends a lot of who's getting a better start here, and both players found 1-drops. Both players with 35 Ts in hand. And yeah, Bamboo having the advantage card-wise, like he's going second, so he's having 2 more cards to play with. And yeah.
Denies the Panzer 35T there on turn 2 by trading out.
Also, Akita is so impossible in this matchup. Like most of the units have low HP, and Akita maybe or mostly able to get rid of 2 units.
I think this is actually pretty huge, finding the Whirlwind there. The Whirlwind is such an important card, I feel, in the Japan mirror matchup because it has 3 HP and can be dropped for 2. So it's going to be very interesting to see what line Head decides to take here. He does have a Type 93 in hand, just like Bamboo, so he could potentially drop the Panzer 35T, a Type 93, and trade out the Whirlwind, which or at least threaten to trade out the Whirlwind. Now, the Akita can come out, and that can potentially take out 2 units there from Bamboo. So this is a very interesting, and it hits
That
both
looks nice.
aggressive units.
It was a cool ping pong play there.
But now, again, keep going to the face of Bamboo. Head there, already taking him down to 14, but a Type 93 is allowing Bamboo to trade out that 3 HP Whirlwind effectively.
Yeah, Type 93, another very important card in the matchup. Like, it helps you to get rid of the Whirlwind and Mito regiments. And yeah, pretty...
Rado pulling Bombing Raid or something? Yep. There we go.
Pretty equal right now.
It's very, very back and forth.
Double 35T, but unfortunately no infantry unit to activate it. But that bombing rate is huge here.
The chance of drawing an infantry unit pretty high.
There it is.
And there it is. You see the 35T. Probably going to trade out the Type 93. Yeah, there we go.
Want to get rid of that one. Type 94 is not really what Head is looking for here.
Both players starting to get low on cards.
Yeah, they will soon be in top deck mode here. What draw options do they have? Head just has the Martyr in it, I mentioned it earlier. Did not find it by now. Martyr
Raiding
and
Brigade.
Faint Retreat. That's it.
All right, 2
And
units on the
22nd.
field. So,
Ooh,
oh,
Bamboo
Faint
found
Retreat.
it first.
I mean, he can errata here. He can errata here to hopefully pull some of the orders. That'll also thin his deck from orders, making it less likely that he plays the Faint Retreat and then pulls an order off the top of his deck. He can also just rip it, but I think ripping it is pretty ballsy at this point. I mean, dropping the Arado and the Panzer 35T would at least allow him to trade out the Raiding Brigade to take out kind of the imminent danger that he has in front of him. But
Yeah, but
Faint Retreat might just result in more pressure over time.
yeah, the problem is when Head is also having Faint Retreat here, the other line is just giving Head a big advantage. Like he can spam out units first, and then after that, Bamboo can only play his Faint Retreat while the opponent already had developed a huge board. I don't know. I think I would take the 3 more damage here and just have the Faint Retreat out.
Luckily for him, though, Head does not have Faint Retreat, and
Yeah.
Bamboo, I think, chooses a really good line there, utilizing the Sendai to get rid of the frontline threat and the deployment effect of the 35T. Now he knows that Head does not have the Faint Retreat, and he's able to just deploy the Arado to get an extra unit on board before ripping his own Faint Retreat and starting to pull ahead starting from next turn, unless he pulls an order first.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a problem when you're in top deck mode with Jagro. And you only have a Martyr as you only draw in 22nd on the board. Okay, this gives you 1 additional draw, but a failed swung is also not really what you want here. And look at this, what Bamboo is pushing out here. And
that means that Bamboo is able to play the Raiding Brigade to take out the Signal Regiment as well, which is a huge loss there for Head.
absolutely, especially because this is mostly his only damage output right now. And 12 damage with that board and the current game state, I don't see how this is ever enough to overcome Bamboo here. This is not doing it. We might see a 2-1 for Bamboo. Especially when this 5-3 goes to the front line.
Yeah.
Like Head needs at least 2 units to get rid of this.
And a Shiden as well.
Yikes. And found the
Yikes.
Signal Regiment.
Yikes is correct.
And there is the Kagoshima in the front line.
And I mean, this is just the pressure.
Shiden in the back line.
This is just the pressure of Faint Retreat. That's not going to be enough. The Type 93 is not going to be enough. We might just see a surrender come out here from Head. He's absolutely locked. And there it is. Bamboo, quick game, takes the lead here.
Turning the game around, the match around, yeah. And now he's just 1 win away from being our first finalist. Just imagine. 1 more win and he has it. So close. Oh god.
And Bamboo is also probably the least experienced competitive player remaining in the tournament. We talked about that in the pre-show that unfortunately got cut off due to some technical difficulties. But I mean, Bamboo went through Pilsudski, went through Chischy, and then went through Tiger to get to where he is. My apologies earlier. I talked about Tiger being a bigger kind of competitive player or more established competitive player than Cappuccino, which is of course not true. Although Tiger has posted some good results, he is still not kind of what you would say is probably like established himself among the elite of the elite competitors in cards. So Bamboo getting a relatively, comfortable path here into this match today, and now he's taking on Head. Head is a player that we've seen a couple of times, had featured on a few broadcasts, and now he's 2-1 up, only 1 win away from securing himself a spot in the top 4 and $1,000.
Can't even imagine how the players are feeling right now. Like also Head, he's under such a pressure now. He needs to win this match, otherwise he's out. Or he's in the lower bracket. Not out, but in the lower bracket. But still, you want to get to win here, so you have a safe spot in the top 4. And this, could be problematic for Head.
You know what? I mean, I feel like I would have said, oh, this situation here really favors Head, right? But with the counteroffensive Yura plus the Katyusha, I'm thinking like maybe there's a way that Bamboo can actually just win this matchup. It's going to be difficult, right? Because of all the pin and all the healing, and at the same time you're damaging your own HQ.
I think he needed a few more 34s in the starting hand. Like when Head can just the later the game goes, the more credit Head has to play around and to combine pin orders and just heal himself up to 30. And the problem with self-damage is you're usually below 20 health. This means whenever your opponent is able to play a Commonwealth, you're very likely dead. And yeah, I think this might be not enough pressure. On the other hand, you see Great Patriotic War, a good card to deny Commonwealth from the other player. This could be a really interesting match. He found the 34s, luckily now.
Yeah.
And also good split up there to not give the Suze value.
I didn't even think about the Great Patriotic War. That is so huge in this matchup.
Yeah.
Head could have 5,000 HP on his HQ. The Great Patriotic War will put it down to 12.
Everything for the trash can there, yeah. But there's still Ultra also on Head stack, but I'm pretty sure Bamboo is aware of that and could play around with an easy Red Dawn, for example, or Winter Warfare. Yeah, this is, for both players, it's not really easy to play. I think Head needs to be a little bit more focused about the match and what is going on, and Bamboo needs to find more of these 34s.
Yeah, I mean, the good news for Bamboo, I would say, is the fact that, he's able to push that up, play the scouting party plus Winter Warfare, refill his hand a little bit. That's also going to start putting a lot of damaged units on the field. If he pulls a counteroffensive here, then that spells danger unless Head is able to take care of that SU there in the backline.
The greatest hand here from Head. Like no pin?
Yeah,
like
no
one,
pin.
he has naval power. Okay, you can pin one of the big boys there, but
he has like 8 cards in his deck that aren't pin, and they're all in his hand right now.
I think we might see Honey into redeployment just to improve his hand here. Sure, he's losing his Commonwealth, but I think he knows that it's not likely to pull off here anyways. Oh no, he's not doing it.
I wonder if he's gonna put the fortification, because I feel like otherwise he should have played the Crusader before pinning.
Yeah. Maybe he switched his line there and suddenly got a new idea of how to play this.
That's a big mistake there from Head. And I mean, now there's 3 Soviet units in the front line, and there's a Yura in hand. This could just be lethal next turn.
Also interesting that Bamboo did not get rid of the Honey or the Crusader. He's not even caring about them. Although that could be pretty problematic when Head just finds more pin here. But I think Bamboo just read his hand. Ah, okay. He just using the Red Dawn to get rid of it. Never mind. And we might see redeployment now.
Yeah, I mean,
can't see any other play here.
Come in. And not even playing the fortification first, because
this is not really what you want to have. Is this lethal with Ura? Radar needs to find, not too much for 1 credit.
It needs to find some pin. It's not going to be enough. I mean, he dropped the cost of Lend-Lease, but I mean, is this going to be lethal? That's 9 plus 8. That's 17 plus 8. That's 25. That's lethal with Yura. Does he have enough credits to operate everything? He's missing 1 credit.
Can only operate 4 units. Yeah.
He can operate 4 units, and he can leave him at 1 HP though if he plays Yura.
Wait, Oh no, he cannot. He's not having enough credits. He can kill the honey, then this is a 6/6, but that's still not changing a lot there.
I mean, if he can kill the honey and Yura and then operate 3 units, and that's still gonna leave him at 1, and Head's gonna be down to honey. So he's not gonna have as an easy time to heal back up. That looks like the route that he's gonna go. But I believe my math was correct. Don't quote me. I can't count to 7. That is a well-established fact. Yep, it was correct this time around. And now some choices to be made. I mean, what he has to find a Monty off that Lend-Lease if he wants to buy himself another turn. He can push everything back. The question is that going to push the SU-76 back into hand or any of the infantry units? If he plays the Churchill, oh, he finds the Monty.
Ooh. And the fortification. But wait, if Bamboo is finding the Katyusha,
if he's finding a Katyusha or a Winter Warfare, this game's over.
So a few outs here for Bamboo to win instantly. Ah,
doesn't find it.
Never lucky.
If I'm gonna say if Head comes back here, that's gonna be one of the most impressive comebacks that we've seen in KARDS tournament history.
Probably, yeah. What options is he having? He can guard up. He has a Sexton. He has fortification. He also has the Churchill still. That coming Churchill into fortification keeps him alive for one more turn.
Yeah. Churchill in the fortification could definitely be one. He's also able to use the Observer Core if he wants to drop the credits, saving himself 1 credit total on that combo. Wonder if that enables him to do anything else.
Oh man, I feel so bad for Bamboo. I can already see it before my eyes when you sit there and just think, okay, Winter Warfare, Katyusha, anything. And then you don't get it. And then suddenly your opponent drops a Churchill, fortification, back to 8 HP.
I just smacked my microphone. Just out of pure excitement. Churchill throws everything back. The SU goes back into hand, so no tank being able to blitz across the field next turn. That buys him a little bit of space. Looks like he's gonna
Wait,
play the
you have to play
Crusader?
fortification here.
I mean, he has to realize that there's a Katyusha, that there's Winter Warfare. So there's 3 outs at least that will just immediately win the game for Bamboo.
He has to do it. Would be a big mistake to not do it. That Crusader is not doing anything.
He's pinning both the big attack units in the support line.
Yeah, that is smart. That secures him probably a spot for the Churchill on the front line.
Oh, he's just pinning 1. Oh my god, if he had moved into the front line, Yura would have killed him. He hovered the Type 94. He only pinned 1 of those units, right? So he hovered the Type 94 into the front line. Yura would have ended the game.
Oh, this is so close. That Ura can come in huge here soon. Just deploy all your...
Bamboo's getting so low.
Yeah, you can be at 1, but what can Head do about it? Nothing.
If he finds a Wellington or finds a Lancaster, then he can do a whole host of stuff, right?
Wellington is a valid option here, yeah.
He's at 5. If he finds the Wellington, I mean, even if he found the Lancaster, he would have been able to double Observer Core it, right? And operate it.
I tell you, that Ura is is winning Bamboo the game here. I tell you. At some point, this will be the deciding card. These Observer Cores absolutely useless here. I mean, at least he's having the Crusader to get some draw out of them.
Yeah, I mean, but what are you looking for? I mean, if he pulls a Shelling, no, Ultra, that's not what you're looking for. He needs to pull a Shelling right now. Blackwatch, that's not what you're looking for. I mean, I guess he can guard up, but Again, that Yura is going to come in massive. There's 2 SUs there. There's 2 SUs.
And
that's gonna be
it. That's
it. Yeah,
it.
the Yura. That's gonna end it. The first SU is gonna take out the Black Watch. The second one is gonna end the game. Bamboo.
Wow.
Unless he somehow misses the line.
Never.
Unless he somehow misses the line.
I think he's just doing the triple calculations here. And there it comes.
There it is. The Yura is hovered. Bamboo about to put an end to our first series here in the qualification top 6 finals. No.
He's trying to play around here? Yeah, what the
He's not gonna kill him.
What did he do?
He's not gonna kill him.
What was that?
He left him at 1 again. What is going on?
Shit. Now he deserves to lose here. Holy shit. Why would you do this in a World Championship top 6? When you have the chance to be the finalist when you win this match? What? How can you? I'm pretty sure he was playing around here. You should see it. There's no way he did not see it.
Maybe he's playing around. Maybe he's just really nervous, right? Keep in mind, this is the move that would have clutched him into the top 4. He is not a super veteran of the competitive scene. You know, there are ways that this can happen, but at the same time, what a massive mistake to make. And there's an Ultra. If he pulls a Winter Warfare now and plays it, the Ultra's gonna catch it.
Pretty sure he has to... He can even lose next turn. He needs to find something to kill him now, otherwise he's dead himself. Just play the Red Dawn first.
What is happening, Spoos?
I don't know. What a throw. Holy moly. You spoke about the biggest comeback ever earlier. We might have seen the biggest throw ever now. Oh my god. Wait, he did not even... Oh, he did not play around Ultra even. Now he needs to play Great Periodic to not die himself. Oh my god.
1, 2. I mean, he can 33rd recon. What is happening? He could have 33rd recon, and he could Red Dawn the 33rd recon before playing the Great Patriotic War to try and find a winter offensive now that he had already pulled the Ultra.
I don't know. It might just be super nervous. I agree, but that's really what you need to beat players in this stage of the tournament. On the other hand, how is Head ever going to win here? Bamboo really needs this winter off.
How is Head gonna win? I mean, Head has 5 damage on the field right now and a shelling. He has a Suse as well. He can pin the entire back line without using the shelling. And he's threatening lethal next turn.
And another, oh yeah. And this and shelling.
And now
really needs a winter warfare.
You need to find the winter warfare. He needs to bloody sickle his 33rd recon. He needs more opportunities to draw. Like,
this is not it.
Guards, they don't protect against bombers. And like, he's not going to get any draw. He's not going to get any draw. I guess he would have just left himself at lethal if he did 30 bloody sickles into 3rd recon. So, but now shelling gives him a draw. That's not what he wants to see. He's gonna have his support line locked now, unless he finds another bloody sickle or something that would allow him. Nope, wow. That's gonna be it. That's game.
What a throw!
Win. It's game number 4. What? That
I was pretty sure he wanted to make a fancy play there and forgot about the heavy armor. There's no way you're at this stage of the tournament and you don't see it. I mean, even I saw it. So there is no way he did not see the line there. Why would you attack into the Churchill there? He really miscalculated. Forgot the heavy armor. I don't know.
it's either that he forgot the heavy armor or that he was just so laser focused on like, oh, I need to get rid of the threats there, and the Churchill is going to be able to trade it out, you know, once I lose the buff and all that stuff. I'll leave him at 1 and then I'll find a Winter Warfare. I mean, there's so many things that can go through your head, and when you're in that nervous of a situation. But my God, that might have been the biggest misplay and the most costly misplay that we have seen in competitive cards from the beginning. Bamboo so close to victory, and now he has to take on Jagro, and Head has Signal Regiment in his starting hand. Spoos, that's like the worst thing when you're Soviet self-damage, starting to take those pings immediately.
Especially because you need 2 Red Dawns to get rid of it.
He mulliganed it. He mulliganed it.
There might be arguments because you don't want to give your opponents the chance to reduce the cost on his units and also buff the guards. So, but still, this is just constant damage, right? And sets a lot of pressure to your opponent. And it even needs 2 Red Dawns, right? This is 6 damage just to get rid of the Signal Regiment.
The Winter Warfare coming in clutch there for Bamboo. Wow, that's the top deck that he needed.
What a first match here. I can't believe it.
My heart rate is like, after that last game, like, what did we just witness? You know what? Like, the players don't need a break between these games. I need a break between these games, Spoos. Like, I need to stand up and walk around to calm myself down. That was crazy.
It was absolutely crazy.
Arado and raiding, that's going to take care of the 4, 5, 6 guards. He's found the feigned retreat now. He can play that on curve. He has a Sendai to deal with the first rifles once they come out. Everything is shaping up really good for Head in this one. Puts pressure into the front line as well, or he decides to tick more damage. There's no Red Dawn. There's no nothing for Bamboo to take out that Sendai. And he's getting low.
Yeah, there will soon be a stage in the game where Bamboo can no longer play any unit.
Head just says, screw the feigned retreat. I'm just going to put pressure. I can deal 5 damage. I can put him down to 7. He's at 7 HP. We're on turn 5. He hasn't buffed any of his units. What can Yura do?
Yeah, and also that Yak is just backfiring for Bamboo now. There's another Shinoda waiting. Not looking great here.
I mean, there's lethal on board right now for Head. Okay, I mean, not quite gonna do it. He's gonna have to... Oh, Audacity.
Oh, this is actually good here.
Is that gonna be enough? With the Shinoda? He doesn't have the credits.
Yeah, and also that Aichi is not having Blitz or something. And it's only dealing damage to units. But yeah,
Red Dawn. He can't use it. He has to do the from the people route.
Yeah. But that's a good out here. Like, Head has the Audacity, but it's only dealing 3 damage.
It's gonna bring back the first guards. Spoos. But I mean, there's another Yura that's waiting, and there's a Katyusha. I mean, that's 4, 5 damage plus whatever is dealt by the other Soviet units. That could be lethal next turn. That's going to be 9. That's going to be 6 going through. 5 left. That's a 50-50. That's a 50-50 chance.
Wait, he misplayed that one. He should have played the Type 94 for 93. That would be 4 damage. Not making the biggest
Bamboo.
difference here, but...
Bamboo's about to win this, Booze.
Surprise attack coming in clutch here.
Counteroffensive. 2, 5. No, he doesn't have the credits. He doesn't have the credits.
Senda has a pretty good find here. Send that IHG away.
Yura. I mean, he needs to figure out something because that bomber is just going to kill him next turn. Sendai can take out the bomber. Do you Yura? No, you can't Yura.
No, just use your first rifles on the Shinodo. You get a 3-4 guard back. I'm not sure. Maybe you leave it alive, but if your opponent just finds another sender, you're dead.
I mean, I guess he's not. He doesn't have to
kill him.
worry. He doesn't have to worry about a lot of orders unless the one card head is holding is bombing rate,
Bombing
right?
rate, yeah. This is so intense here.
Could you imagine if he had a signal regiment, Booze? He needs to kill that mortar, hopefully get the roll on the Katyusha, and then push those 2 units into the front line to block it. Gets the roll.
I'm not even sure if you can use both units. Like, is Head playing shit in his deck?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
then
that's...
you can...
He does push up
He's-
both.
He's risking it.
And a KV.
No! Bombing rate!
That's
The
enough,
one
Head!
order he pulled that one order he needed. And turned the
Normally-
match around again.
Normally, you
After-
don't want to see an order
Yeah.
after you played Feigned Retreat, but Head does it!
Oh my god, what was that match? I'm not even sure. I think I have to go into myself here and just think about what just happened.
Bamboo missed lethal for his shot at the top 4 and $1,000, Booze. And Head turns this game back around, finds the bombing rate there. I mean, there's a lot of cards that he could have pulled that would have not won the game for him, that would have not allowed him to push through.
Yeah, especially because there was a KV1 up, right? Like every unit he deployed, he would have received damage from the KV1 additionally. So
Yes.
he was really on the back foot there and just top decked the bombing rate. Oh my god.
The World Championships, Booze!
Anything can happen.
It's the
Anything.
World Championship. God, I love it. Congratulations to Head. We haven't seen the last of Bamboo, though. He's going to drop down to the lower bracket where the formidable opponent, Kolbasnik, is going to be waiting for him. But Head, our first top 4 grand finalist qualifier. You can see it there. It's official in the bracket. Head, one of the top 4. Congratulations. We'll throw it back over to Christo and Elin to get us ready for the next series. It's going to be J King 7 versus Berto Burrito. I mean, the day's just getting started.
Oh.
See you in a bit.
Ollie, calm down. I'm not ready for the next series. I need a minute. I know you said after that game 4 you needed a break to get up and step away. I definitely need that too. My heart is racing. What did we just watch? I am at a loss. I'm at a loss and you are muted. So it was the intensity. It was too much.
It was. Oh, I'm not on top of my game. That was intense. I am amazed at how that went. It really looked like Bamboo was gonna take it, and I do wonder. I mean, as we said earlier, this is Bamboo's kind of first time on the kind of main stage. Maybe that has some kind of impact. You know, he's not used to this competitive pressure, and he just didn't quite see the move. But man, that was down to the wire. Really impressive gameplay from Head, of course, and a super well-deserved win. And Bamboo still has a shot, but he's going to have to play a pretty tough game there against Kolbasnik. Excited to see how that goes as well.
Absolutely. I think you nailed it, saying that this is it was Bamboo's kind of first time on this stage. Darkness talked about it in the pregame show, which you may or may not have caught, but was mentioning how that last series to get himself to the World Championships was, one of the hardest fought, most stressful matchups he's ever faced. So compound that with being, a little bit new to the tournament series, and on top of that, that Soviet deck is not an easy deck to play. So there is absolutely the potential of misplaying if you're not 100% comfortable with the deck. So a lot went on there. I mean, we saw some great matches. Those first three were fantastic, but then game 4, Head makes a little mistake. We think Bamboo's going to take advantage. It doesn't happen, and Bamboo still had the opportunity in game 5 to potentially win that. Doesn't. I also wonder how that affects his morale, his headspace. What's Bamboo going to be feeling going up against a tough opponent like Kobalsnik in the bottom half of the bracket?
Absolutely. That's a lot of pressure that he's facing right now. And he really needs to shake it off and remember all the great games he's had leading up to this, and channel that energy back if he's going to have any hope of potentially making it to the top 4 grand finals. But we do have another exciting, extremely exciting series ahead that I know that you have been very hyped for, Christo. We are going to have a Canadian, at least one, in the grand finals. And this is going to be the buddy matchup of J King versus Birdo, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it's funny, Ollie was talking about needing to catch his breath, and I feel like it's going to be so tough going into this matchup because you do have two friends, J King bringing Birdo into the game, both of them prepping together. I know Darkness very specifically said he wanted to cast this matchup because he's worked with them both and prepped with them both, and we know what they can do. They've both been absolute titans in esports here at KARDS. So I'm excited to get to it. I cannot imagine what we're going to see, but it is going to be another phenomenal matchup, I am sure.
Absolutely. So hyped to see it, and so hyped to get Darkness's in-depth readout on the deck list they're bringing and on how they've been kind of preparing both together and apart.
Absolutely. So we're going to kick it over. Actually, Elin, you're pulling double duty here with Darkness. You're going to cast this next matchup. So enjoy as we figure out which Canadian is going to be the second player to make it to the grand finals of the 2022 KARDS World Championship.
Hello, Darkness.
Hello.
Very good to see you here. Very good to have you here. I have to admit, I was kind of hoping that I was gonna be casting you playing a game here today, but I am also so grateful to have you here as my casting partner. And as Christo said, you have a lot of experience with J King and Birdo and a lot of insight into their preparations for this.
Yeah, of course. We are in the same team, Team Ammo, and we prepared a lot during the evenings for me and for them, of course, in the last week to prepare for this World Championship. Before, of course, for the top 128 for the round robin, we prepared, but it got really intense during the last week to prepare for this knockout stage. So we tested a ton of decks together, especially we three. And yeah, I'm very happy for them. Seeing one of them is definitely going into the final, and I try to hide my pain and analyzing this match as good as possible. At the end, it's a win-win for Team Ammo. We are seeing two participants fighting, and I will analyze this. I know J King especially likes my kind of cast. So yeah, let's go. Let's get into this. And let me explain and tell you a little bit of the decks, of the strategies, of the lineup of those two top players. First, we are going to look at J King's decks. That matchup, his lineup was going to be very strong overall. He wanted to have like a control style lineup, but you may see the J aggro list because unlike last year in the preparation, he didn't went for 4 control decks because your lineup is only as strong as the weakest deck. And he figured out that J aggro is stronger than the 4th strongest control deck. And J aggro is a very polished deck overall, very strong, can beat almost everything with a very strong start. So this was kind of a safe pick. And yeah, this is the first. The second is the order deck he and Berto developed a lot. It has a ton of removal. It's basically, I remove everything you're going to play and win in fatigue. J-King really likes this kind of gameplay. You see a very few units here, like Hellcat, 5th Rangers, and 101st Airborne, but only because they are having Blitz. So they won't stay on the field. It's meant to remove something immediately out of the front line, or with Hellcat deal extra damage to the HQ. Also, Hellcat is killing the untargetable tank like Penta G, very, very strong here. The third deck is Soviet France Control. I used the same deck list, and this one was very, very powerful. Kolbasnik is running a similar one, I believe, and it's just awesome how strong this deck is. It is a basic control deck with some early units, some very strong late game abilities like Naval Brigade, Partisans, Winter Warfare plus ISU is killing everything. And the second Rima. This is a French card that gives all other units mobilized. And when you have Brian's Irregulars mobilized, tanks like Armored Train mobilized, it's just insane how much value this deck can give you. And of course, Phony War is amazing card draw, and Call to the Colony is very flexible, very solid deck overall. Last but not least, Britain, Italy Control. This is facing very good matchups against the current meta of J aggro, frontline, even self-damage, because it has a ton of guards and a ton of heal, and most decks right now does not really prepare against that. So this is another deck we developed, I think 3 days ago, and polished it, and yeah, J-King just made it to this spot with this kind of lineup. And now we are switching to Berto Burrito. He went for a different lineup because he can't play every single deck in the game. Like J-King, he sticked to the roots of himself. He chooses the decks he's best with, and first one is definitely self-damage. Berto is, in my opinion, the best self-damage player in KARDS. I trained against his self-damage decks a lot, and he was beating me most of the times. I don't even understand his level of mastering this deck. I'm very, very happy to see how J-Kings is trying to do with that. The second deck is US-German Frontline. Very solid deck, of course. And J-King especially prepared against this lineup, against this frontline deck. This can snowball, it's very hard to deal with it, but J-King has a lot of counter mechanics. As a third is J aggro, like a lot of participants used today. We already know that. And the fourth deck is an German-Italy control deck. So German-Italy control is relatively strong against the medium control decks of J-King. For example, Brit-Italy. And J-King especially used this deck in case he would face J-King. Well, to be fair, his entire lineup is to be able to beat J-King or myself. This is why he used 3 aggressive decks. Original idea was to use 4 aggressive decks and beat 2 slow control player, if you get me. But German Italy is just so strong in this matchup. This is why he used this one instead of the fourth strongest aggro deck. This
Very
is the
interesting.
entire secrets of Team Ammo, but they know each other, so I can tell you guys as well. Yeah, let's have a look at the bans.
All right, and J King's Brit deck is banned, and Bird of Burrito's Soviet deck. Is this what you were expecting to see here, Darkness?
Yeah, J King's Brit Italy deck is very, very strong. Maybe the strongest deck. I would choose between that and Soviet control. And Berto's self-damage deck got banned. J King thinks, like myself, that Berto is an incredible strong player with this deck, so he just banned Berto's best deck here. I would definitely do the same against Bird of Burrito. Maybe I would ban the Soviet deck of J King myself.
As you put it, though, this is something that Birdo, he was potentially expecting to come up against either yourself or J King, and kind of thought about his lineup in relation to that. Has J King done the same thing in exchange? Would you think?
Yes, we were preparing a lot of decks, and J King made all of his decks better against aggro compared to the versions I was going to use in order to beat Birdo Burrito and our player who are bringing 3 or 4 aggro decks.
Indeed, and we are into the first game already, and J King with his J aggro versus Birdo Burrito's German Italy control deck. J King off to the races, but certainly an interesting matchup.
It is a very interesting matchup. We agree that J aggro is actually favored in this one, just a little bit, because German Italy control is relatively slow, and you need to have a great starting hand to not just get run over. And even if you have a great starting hand, J aggro can completely overrun you by sending wave after wave and damage after damage. Look at the chipping damages. It's turn 3, Birdo Burrito
Absolutely.
is down to 12. He
And
has
it's-
some yeah.
Is Birdo even going to have the opportunity to develop a board before J King has just completely demolished him?
I think so. There's no type 97 to buff the units, and Birdo activated decisive defense. J King testing for a countermeasure here, and I don't think he's going to. He read his mind and is playing around decisive defense. Now, Birdo Burrito has the chance playing the 989th and kill a unit, or activates countermeasure. And J King really has to think, does he want to attack and potentially activate the countermeasure? Or is he just going to develop a board? And looks like he's just going to develop a board. Blocks the entire front line. Birdo Burrito is not having any opportunity during the first 4 turns. Now he really has to do something, and the best way to get back is playing the Blitz Volksgrenadier and Marinostrum, in my opinion. The other option is still activating the decisive defense and killing a single unit. I don't know, it feels weird. J King still not finding any Sendai regiment order or type to be able to deal efficient with this decisive defense. Finally triggering it, sacrificing 1 Metro and the Panzerbefehlswagen, dealing more damage, establishing the board. This is a nice one. Birdo Burrito can activate the countermeasure and use the Marinostrum Blitz unit. Looks like he's going to do that now. This will give him 6 more HP. Back to 14. The type 94 TK. J-King gets the second surprise attack, being able to kill the Mare Nostrum unit, losing this little tank, but that does not really matter.
That did
Bird
not last for
Burrito.
long.
He did not like that. Are you kidding me? He asked J-King.
And J King's hand completely empty.
J-King's hand completely empty, but Bird Burrito is able to get rid of 2 more units. With the V1 Flying Bomb and the Blitz Volksgrenadier, front line is clear. J-King is not having any more units. Second Raiding Brigade cannot attack. But the 22nd Infantry Regiment is drawing him another card. Akita Regiment at the end of the turn added to his hand. Bird Burrito finding a Flam Panzer. He has to look for more options here. Panzer 3H, giving him a route out. Interesting options. From the deep, also considerable. King Tiger definitely too slow. Ooh, this is an intense match, and it's just the first one. Elin.
Already getting incredibly intense. And I can't imagine that it feels super great to be in J King's situation. I know that you kind of have to be relying a lot on that top deck there.
Yeah, it's hard for J-King. J-King is really on the clock right now because he needs to kill Bird Burrito before he's finding the second Mare Nostrum onto a big unit. So Desperate Measure is killing 2 units. Bird Burrito finding the Bologna Regiment. This will guard him up. The Flam Panzer is the second body to hopefully tank the Akita Regiment. J-King finding the key. It's a very big potential unit, but this allows Birdo to play the Schwalbe while killing the key and putting a major threat on the field. J-King is really on the back foot right now.
Painful. Oof.
Look at that
And that's the
Schwalbe
key
coming
gone. Oof.
J-King only finding another Akita regiment. Both of them
Floating
dealing
7 credits.
Both of them dealing 2 damage, so Bird Burrito still does not has heal. He's playing another unit and attacking with Schwalbe, killing 1 Akita regiment. 20% chance to get HP damage. This one tanked the Panther G. Mito regiment is dealing guaranteed 2 more damage. But with the guard on field, J-King needs to find something really strong.
It really feels like J King is on the back foot here with Bird Burrito kind of having locked up his HQ. J King is going to need to get very lucky in order to be able to open this up.
Much credits. No, not enough credits for Birdo to kill J-King. He's 1 credit short of lethal. So
what is the move here?
Birdo Burrito is having quite some options. Schwalbe definitely going to hit HQ. And maybe he should use Annihilation on the Akita regiment. Or Panther G. Just to have the maximum targets available for the Akita hit. It hits the Flam Panzer, not the HQ. This is major important. But J-King can top deck something. The Shiden to win. What is it? Panzerbefehlswagen, that's not enough.
That is not what he is looking for.
This is the first match. It was really close. J-King running out of steam, not finding the necessary card draw, the Frightened Retreat or a Rado or Shiden.
He knows that that's it.
J-King
surrendering in this first matchup.
Winning with the Soviet, with the German-Italy deck. From all of Birdo's decks, I think German Italy is the strongest in this lineup against J-King.
And this is incredible. This is incredibly strong from Birdo, just coming right out the gate and getting a 1-0 on J-King 7, reigning world champion. I am sure that
Yeah.
this has some impact on the players' mental states, which is incredibly significant in such a high stakes esports events like the World Championship.
It's especially strong because J-King really needed the matchup from his other deck against Birdo's German deck. Now it's really hard for J-King to get through his US deck. This is a really great start from Birdo. Now we are seeing the mirror matchup. Both are having J-Aggro left. Birdo going first with the Panzerbefehlswagen. Very strong start here.
Very strong start. And really, speed is so much the key with a deck like this. And being able to get all that power out there just on the first turn.
Yeah, definitely. The top deck of Cavalry Regiment looks really strong. He's just going for the Akita Regiment. Very solid card. One of the best standard cards in the game. Just has a ton of value. If Birdo is developing now another unit, J-King's Akita Regiment is most likely to hit 2 units, trading 2 for 1. And with him going second, he has more card opportunities. Birdo was playing around. He targeted the Akita Regiment, going for the 50-50, and he succeeded this chance, now having a great board dominance.
Wow.
J-King really on the back foot. He lost his Akita Regiment. Maybe it's time for desperate measures, but turn 3 while going second, this credit disadvantage would hurt a lot. So it does not feel good at all.
Absolutely. Feels quite early to be doing that. And I mean, J-King, I mean, he has a lot of units in hand. He still has the Type 94. Does that not give him some potential options going forward?
It doesn't feel that great playing the 22nd Infantry Regiment without any unit in the front line. You're not getting the instant card draw out of it. Giving your opponent an opportunity to deal with that. But Birdo does not have that many opportunities. With bombing rate, he could kill it, but this is not a lot of pressure. So Panzer 35T coming into play. Deployment effect hits because of the Akita Regiment. He's thinking about killing it to prevent card draw. He could also go to attack the HQ, send Akita into the front line, and maybe pinning the unit to prevent trading. Very difficult here. He's going for the trade, actually. J-King is wondering about that move, so am I. And Birdo's not moving the Akita in the front line. I think he really wants to go for max value plays, fighting for the board and the board dominance, trading as good as possible, looking at the amount of hand cards as well. Not a lot of J-Aggro players are doing for this kind of play. But now look at that.
Looking at their faces as well, since they've both provided us with webcam feeds, you can really tell that these are some heavy decisions. They are really having to think hard on this.
Bombing rate coming in, killing 2 units. J-King played both on the same side, so he saved one damage for his HQ. Sheeden is gonna be deployed. Birdo Burrito is not having an ability to deal with this. Now going for the tempo play. 5 damage into the HQ of J-King. J-King can attack twice with Sheeden. It's only 8 damage. It's not enough. to threaten lethal here. Going for card war, finding fright and retreat. He needed bombing rate to deal with the front line. 50-50 chance he got fright and retreat. Not a bad card, but in this situation it actually is. Now, what comes in here? Mito Regiment or Sendai Regiment to deal with this front line? Maybe Mito and trading into Akita. Or Sendai and getting rid of the Shinoto tank? What's his name again? Let me look that up for you. It's a Type 97 Shinoto. Akita hit the Arado, that is great.
And a little more damage to face there. J King's HQ slowly continuing to weaken.
Weaken a lot. He's down to 6. Now it's time for some desperate measures.
Oh my god. Birdo's front line is looking incredibly strong there.
He
I was
can't
thinking about
play
that.
Raiding Brigade and Sendai and trade. Missing 1 credit, so he needs to go for the desperate measures play.
And that is what he is seeing.
But a Burrito finding Arado. It's a 50 chance for fright and retreat. It's not fright and retreat. That would be the nail in the coffin of J King, but desperate measures now being in the hand of Burritos dangerous as well. J King, Arado being able to find the bombing rate. Does he really needs it? I think Sender Regiment onto Akita Regiment is more important. Well, he should definitely go for the Arado play to get a unit on the field. He's not. I wonder why he did not play Arado. Maybe because he is aware of desperate measure and want this unit as a minor factor. I mean, it's 1 damage, it's not a lot, but could definitely help.
Takes the opportunity to try and even out the score on the HQ a little bit, but it still feels like Birdo is in the stronger position.
Taking had a chance of lethal with type 93. The Shiden would have killed Birdo. It's a meter regiment. So what is J King doing now?
Card draws definitely don't seem to be in his favor today.
It's so close. Any top deck can lead to the lethal damage. Turn 9 in this J-Aqua mirror matchup. J-King thinking a lot, calculating the credits. Of course, he needs to deal with as many units as possible to not die. Bombing rate comes in play.
Absolutely,
Looks
and
like
the seconds are running out on the clock.
he's just clearing the front line and dealing damage. But the Shinoto type 97 coming top deck in with Birdo Burrito.
Oh my
He has
god.
now more than enough. He only needed another damage.
Oh my god,
That's it.
what are we watching? Birdo Burrito 2-0 against world champion of 2021, J King 7. This is an amazing apprentice versus master matchup that we're seeing happen here. And definitely not the position that J King 7 wants to be in right now.
Birdo Burrito played this very smart. J King was especially prepared for the matchup against US German frontline, the last deck of Birdo.
Absolutely.
So he secured the victories of the other decks first and has now 3 possibilities to win with this US German frontline deck.
Yep. And it looks like J King is gonna carry on with his J aggro deck against Birdo's US frontline. And let's see if he can be successful this time.
He definitely can, he proved that. Although J aggro has a slight advantage against frontline. J aggro is just a little bit faster, and if Birdo is not able to get into the frontline to benefit from the frontline mechanics, J King can pull off a quick win here.
It would be amazing to see him turn this around.
It's relatively even yet. Also, with the Panzerbefehlswagen, J King had a lot of stats in the front line already. This was quite a good start from both sides here. Now, J King finding the first signal regiment is huge. It's very, very hard to kill this for Birdo. He needs to spend like 11 credits and strategic bombing and stars and stripes to deal with that, while it's constantly chipping damage. So Birdo is a little bit on the back foot here. Definitely. J King is very happy with this start of his J aggro deck, of course. Now the Type 93 Panzer 35T able to trade into the front line and probably dealing, no, not even dealing more damage, but wiping off this
Wow.
little chocolate infantry to prevent the Sherman Dwarf for Birdo. Birdo Burrito on his side trading into the little support tank, the Type 93. J King finding desperate measures, being able to kill both units and get another blitz tank with 0 operation cost into the front line, resetting up
This is
the speed here.
very intense back and forth here. Every time that J King pushes forth, Birdo takes it away from him, and vice versa. No one is getting to keep the front line for any amount of time in this one.
Look at that top deck. Not only is
Oh.
J King playing the bombing raid to get rid of this US unit, but also having a 1 credit unit to set up the pressure and send the little cavalry regiment into the front line.
This is not looking good for Birdo Burrito right now.
He's just dropping the Sherman, no car draw, Skytrain, giving him a little nice infantry regiment. But J King, turn 6, frightened retreat with signal regiment on the field, going for the damage. Birdo Burrito, he's able to kill the first signal regiment. He's not going to it. He's setting up a tempo play as well. He could play strategic bombing and dive bombing on signal regiment, trade into the front line, saving 1 HP though, but he's entirely blocking the front line. Look at that. It's a desperate move, and I think it's necessary. Sheeden, 1 credit short. J King is just dropping it anyway. Arado, I don't think there's an order left, but there's a type.
The Type 93, he doesn't have enough credits to do much else this turn.
So if J King is dropping the Type 93, Birdo Burrito is able to play stars and stripes and kill the entire board. He is not. J King, smart, saving the day, protecting his little first signal regiment, and Birdo Burrito now really has to think about dealing with the situation.
But Birdo has that front line locked down pretty hard, it feels like, at the moment.
It looks strong.
He's gonna have to do something against that Sheeden, isn't he?
Yeah, he needs to play stars and stripes, break the ambush with this 1-3 infantry regiment. He's using strategic bombing instead. And if he's not doing it, Birdo, Birdo's going for the risk play, and this was the 33% chance he was looking for. He did not get the lucky hit on Sheeden.
Birdo sees that there's no other option here for him, leaving J King with his first win in this series so far. J King 1, Birdo Burrito 2. Is J King gonna pull it all back right here?
My brain needs to precede the move of Birdo. He had a 33% chance of hitting by attacking the HQ, the Shiden, and going for the win, but he lost the 33% gamble and lost because of that. He could have definitely killed the Shiden by attacking into the ambush and still having the 33, but he went for the very, very aggressive move and lost the series instead.
Amazing.
I mean, it was a 33% chance of probably winning that, depending on the top deck of J King.
Indeed, and I guess now we'll see how Birdo's US frontline deck will fare against J King's Soviet France control deck.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting one. Usually, J King is favorite here. The nature of this control deck is very strong against US frontline, but of course, US frontline can snowball really hard. Look at that, he got double Petliakov. Deployment effects are so important for Birdo Burrito. The 5th Ranger deployment effect, 32nd Infantry Regiment deployment effect. Even those 99th Infantry Regiment +2/+2 is in deployment effect. Same as Sherman and Half Track. If J King is able to develop a board with Petliakov, Birdo is not only on the back foot, it's almost impossible for him to win. Oh, this is a tough choice. Well, 5th Rangers saving the day. Very strong move here. Very, very good turn 4 option in general. It's a strong addition to the frontline deck, and the main reason this deck became more popular, the 5th Ranger. I recommend everyone testing this frontline deck with the 5th Ranger. It even scales better in the late game with the +4/+4 option.
Indeed.
Birdo Burrito not going for the Sherman. I mean, his hand was full. He's just developing a board. J King now has the ability to play Winter Warfare, trade into the front line, and develop a Petliakov onto the board. And has even the 2nd Ishak.
This seems like a very strong play from J King, really taking control here of the board. And as you say, with the deployment effects, this is not great for Birdo Burrito right now.
Not at all. Birdo Burrito reducing the damage to protect his Sherman and already dealing potential damage to the Petliakov. J King now having quite some options. Brang's Irregulars will protect the Petliakov. He could even go for the second one. Maybe this is not that smart, looking at strategic bombing and stars and stripes in the deck of Birdo Burrito. Going for the Night Witches looks a little bit better. He's getting 3 bombers and is able to drop one. Oh, he's just going for research. Interesting choice here. Definitely looking more towards the late game. He's feeling very safe right now.
Mm-hmm. Feeling very confident in what he's going to be developing over the course of the next turns.
Birdo Burrito also going for the research. Manhattan projects are doing a ton of damage. This will help to kill the Petliakovs, definitely. And J King usually does not have that much burn, so Birdo Burrito can relatively safely go towards Manhattan project. Giving Birdo Burrito a lot to think about. Liberation, perfect time He can kill the Sherman with Petliakov, heal for 9, and yeah, mill a card while clocking the hand of Birdo. It's Stars and Stripes, one of the powerful cards to deal with Petliakov. Birdo Burrito definitely not happy with that.
No, not at all. We can see it in his face. His hand is full of stuff that he doesn't want it to be, and he's just lost an incredibly powerful card for it. So that was a great move from J King.
Second California hurt a lot. Red Devil's not that much, but Birdo needs the space, and he knows J King has Manhattan projects coming in as well, so he needs to watch over his HQ HP. How many cards does J King has? Is it 6 or 7?
He is at 6.
So he can afford going for Night Witches, but if you want to get Manhattan projects, it's not a good option here. Burrito is straight going for Manhattan projects. His hand is full, but he does not care. He needs the nukes to deal with Petliakov. J King probably just dropping a T60 and attack for 2. No, going for Manhattan projects as well. Of course he is. The A bombs are being ready. Fifth Stranger
Yes.
overdrawn hurt as well. But Burrito, I think the only chance for him right now is to play Manhattan Project and Wirbelwind. It's
There
not
we
great,
go.
but it deals with the first Petliakov. Birdo really needs to be able to get deployment effects.
It's the best that he's got right now, but J King is holding on to that other Petliakov from earlier. So that's gonna be another problem on the board for Birdo pretty soon.
J King just playing one Manhattan Project to kill the small little unit here. He's not setting up the Petliakov. He's saving it for now.
Yes.
Sherman, now 7 HP, will survive the atomic bomb. But of course can get traded with the T60.
We've been seeing a lot of bombs so far, very quickly. And not being used on like a ton of units, it feels like either.
I think a great move here would be attacking with the T60 into the Sherman. Get the 5/5 Blitz tank and killing the Sherman with trading and leaving a tank in the front line.
Solid play here, but what does J King think of that? And he's moving it up and going straight for face.
He's dealing some damage. Allowing Birdo Burrito. Wait. No, he's going for the
Winter
ISU
Warfare.
play. He's killing the Sherman, of course, with his own unit, setting up a very dangerous tank. Birdo Burrito can play the 5th Ranger into the front and get draw with Sherman, or even buffing the 5th Ranger. But it's also important to deal with this ISU, because if this tank is going to attack his HQ with atomic bomb, it's 12 damage. He's at 11. So there are some options, but it's very hard to decide which one's the best here. I mean, even that, he could go for the 8 credits into the front line and 8/8, or 4 damage into the front line.
He goes for the Manhattan Project.
Manhattan Project and a Sherman just as unit. Now J King knows all of the Manhattan projects are out of the way. Now it's the time to develop the Petliakov again. A guard and the Reamer, a second guard and the Petliakov, which is getting mobilized. Now this is not looking good for Birdo Burrito. Half track, 99th Infantry Regiments, 5th Ranger and Sherman, all using deployment effects, blocked with no opportunity for Birdo Burrito to deal with the second Petliakov.
Absolutely. It feels like it's just all leading to the inevitable with J King here on his way to dealing lethal.
Birdo Burrito just killing the first tank unit.
A little bit of we can do it, a little bit of extra HP there as well.
There are quite a lot of options for J King. I mean, Manhattan Project looks very tempting. He's in a relatively safe spot to deal that much damage. And
There
he
it goes.
could also drop the KV-1 to deal 2 damage for every card drawn.
Oof.
The second Reamer would even give mobilized on the KV-1 with heavy armor. It's a tough situation for Bird Burrito.
Seems incredibly tough. And does he have at this point any options to get rid of that Petliakov?
Oh wow, he's just attacking using Red Banner onto the second Reamer to have the 3-9 guard into the front line.
Wow.
Let me check the name real quick.
Birdo sees he has no more options. J King takes another win, which leads us into the 5th game in this series. It is J King 2, Birdo Burrito 2. This has been an incredibly intense matchup between two great players and two great friends who, as we can see, know each other very well. They are both here playing with their last decks. Birdo Burrito still with his US frontline. J King now bringing in his
Order deck.
exactly, thank you.
The US Franks order deck with the playstyle. I'm going to remove everything you you throw at me. Birdo Burrito going first. This is already good. He can safely drop the Red Devils, and J King is not able to remove it. The next turn, with the Engineers Battalion, the Red Devils will advance into the front, getting buffed, being very sticky and very hard to deal with. I guess Gunship Mission coming in, killing the Engineers Battalion. Yankee Doodly Doo. Is this from the new emotion pack?
I don't think Yankee Doodle Doo is, but we did see you again there, which I do know is in the new community emote bundle. Well spotted there. Some great emotes flying back and forth from these two friends.
Yeah, checking right now, not really having options. Birdo Burrito just sending unit after unit into the front line. Stars and Stripes and Gunship Mission are just not useful for J King. This is a great addition he made to this order deck, the 5th Ranger, to be able to trade into the front line. He especially added this 1/5 Ranger in order to deal with the frontline deck. So you see the value already. He's probably able to deal 2 for 1. Well, Birdo is protecting his own 5th Ranger by sending the little Panzer 35T into it. J King again not finding a very good top deck here, but Torpedo Tech and Gunship Mission are dealing with most units.
Yep, he is able to delete some of those units pretty quick there.
Sherman giving some necessary card draw. Birdo Burrito, he could attack for 2, but he chose to add even more HP to the Red Devils. Hellcat is not going to kill it anymore. Strat bombing, at least killing 1 unit, dealing damage to Sherman. Patrol now is able to kill the Sherman even in the front line. Look at that, we can do it. Because we can do it, it's getting significantly worse for Birdo. For J King to deal with those. He's not going for it. He's choosing the way of violence and finally starting to attacking with the Red Devils. It's 8 damage.
Wow. But J King seems to have a lot of options left still.
Yeah, there's some options. Killing the Sherman, probably going for the heal.
Yep.
Next turn, he still struggles with the Red Devils in the front line. Depending on how many cards Birdo is playing. With only 4 hand cards, the Phantom Depth is not a threat to the Red Devils. What is an issue? Shaking, he could go for research. Stars and Stripes also looks very promising. Maybe Stars and Stripes in air defense.
He goes for it. He clears out the back line aside from the Skytrain. And gets no?
It's a really hard decision with the research.
Yeah.
He can guard his HQ, give it smokescreen for 1 turn, but you really want to play the Manhattan projects.
Yeah, and he goes for
Birdo
the air
found the
defense.
island hopping. It's the best card in this matchup to give his units more HP to make it way more sticky. Birdo Burrito first.
Goes for the we can do it. This seems like the right time for that.
It was a ton of value, buffing 5 units. High altitude bombing can deal with 2, maybe the Red Devils.
If he gets lucky, but not this
Skytrain
time.
and damaged 32nd Infantry Regiment. So island hopping it is. Oh, the Red Devils got buffed again.
Oh,
How do
wow.
you deal with that?
Oh,
Defend. It's so hard to deal with those Red Devils.
oh my god. It really seems like Birdo might just have this to me.
Jakin can stall with depth charges and go for card draw.
Is he gonna get what he needs?
He got some opportunities now. With Cross of L'Oreal, he's able to kill 1 unit and defend him deaths and another removal. He's able to deal with Red Devils. It's expensive though.
But that smoke screen is able to stave it off for at least 1 more turn so that he can hopefully start to develop
Combat
something again.
Engineers and California into the front line. It's not looking good for Jaking here. Battery, another removal. That is strong, but this could be too much. It's quite a lot
I'm not
of
seeing.
units.
I'm really not seeing that out here for J King.
Well, Liberation will heal and make Cross of L'Oreal 0 cost. He can deal with
And a giant heal.
battery, patrol. An overdrawn card. Birdo Burrito still has his Red Devil. And the Hellcat got buffed.
Oh man, he's just gonna keep pounding away as long
Oh
as
no,
he can.
the buff got again onto the Red Devil. It's how is Jaking dealing with the 8-12 Red Devils? The buff came from the little engineers into the support line. Phantom Depth being able to kill 5th Ranger, sure. Maybe 2 of them will kill the Red Devils. He's going for Phony War, but what is he going to find?
That is the question. He is staking everything on it.
It's not enough.
Oh,
Red Devils finding
oh
huge
my
success.
God. And that is it. Oh my God, Darkness. What were we just seeing here? Birdo, the apprentice, has beaten the master.
That was huge by Birdo.
Birdo is
was-
in the final four. J King is gonna have to take on Vinny for one last chance to make it to that final four. I can't imagine how J King is feeling right now as the reigning world champion from 2021. Oh my God.
I guess it's a mix between very sad, nervous for the next match, maybe losing his title, and proud because his friend and team member is going to the final of the World Championship. This matchup was amazing. Congratulations to Birdo Burrito for taking this win against J King. It was very interesting to analyze this matchup and these matches with you. I could talk at least an hour about the overall strategy, but this would kill our schedule. So I will step a little step back and pass it to the host desk. Yeah, please take it on, Christo and Elin, I
Darkness.
guess?
Darkness, I still want you to record that video. I want you to put it up on YouTube. I would watch every single minute of it. That series was phenomenal. I was a little worried